What's going on? My name is Deron Shields, and I am half of the Stimulus Podcast, a news podcast that me and my cousin started, talking about everything that stimulates modern culture and society. This is episode 3. Thank you for tuning in first. Actually, before I get into anything, if you want to donate, if you want to help us out, you can go to $ the Stimulus Podcast on Cash App and give us whatever you feel like giving us. $5, $10, anything helps. But this is episode 3. Like I said, I am one half of the Stimulus Podcast. You might be wondering, where is my co-host? Why I don't have him on screen yet. I'm wondering the same thing. He's out here in the world somewhere. A lot of late nights lately. I'm saying everybody's quarantined at home. But a lot going on, a lot of video games, a lot of late night sessions. So he probably sleep. But wherever he's at, I'm gonna give him his credit for skipping out on us on this episode. So, but I do have some guests in the building. We're gonna get it cracked off. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Bring y'all on the screen right now. Here we go. What's going on?
What's up, man?
My first guest. I'm gonna let you go ahead, Tommy, and go first. Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
It's your boy T-Lee 4/5, out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. How y'all doing this morning?
All right, and then go ahead, Ron.
It's well, like he said, it's Rome or otherwise mud. Y'all don't understand it with that V. I know it's weird, but it's mud MVDD.
Is that like Latin? Like Latin, the old Latin type spelling?
I don't know. I just didn't want to be like a typical nigga and spell it like the actual spelling. I spelled it all the way wrong. It's as wrong as I possibly could.
Okay, I got you. Against the grain. But yeah, and I'm Deron Shields. I'm like I said, I'm co-host of the Stimulus Podcast. We're gonna get it started. We got a lot of stuff that's going on this week. And the first thing I want to talk about, well, before we get into the very first topic, really, let's talk about how y'all living right now. Like, what's y'all like routine? Like, how are things different than they were before coronavirus? It's like almost like AC, BC, like after Corona, before Corona. Like, what's the difference? What's different now than it was before we got into this whole pandemic?
Well, for me, I got a whole family, 100 kids, and now with them not being in school, they eating the whole house up, and then it's just like I'm trying to structure their time while at the house so that they can, So I'm trying to make sure they read and make sure they're doing their schoolwork, and then get a snack in between. That way they don't just eat everything up. So it's been a bit challenging in the beginning, but now we pretty much got the hang of everything. So just structuring out the day.
You're right. What about you, Ron?
Me, I'm starting my family, so shit. I got my first one on the way. So that was gonna be different either way. My whole life changing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Appreciate it. But it mostly is like it's hard staying on routine though, like the stuff that you normally do, like you finish all of that shit and then you got all this extra free time, so you got to stay on routine with certain shit. So you got to try to find certain shit to fill your time up and shit like that. But I'm considered essential, so some days easier than other ones.
Yeah, one of my jobs was I had 2 jobs before everything started, and then one of my jobs was in the mall, so that got shut down, of course, along with the mall. But my routine is it's kind of similar. I got more free time, of course, because one of my jobs is done or is shut down for now. But so I've been getting into the streaming stuff. We started the podcast, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it all is let me be a little bit more productive creatively. I know that I got way more time and I can get on the game and be up all night, because my job that I do work is not until like the afternoon every day. I'm like a second shift basically. So, I still have time to do a lot of stuff, and I've been pretty productive. I've tried to be productive and not get lazy. But I tell you what though, like you talking about kids eating and stuff. I know I've been eating. I bought my mama air fryer, and I've been using it more than she had. I made grilled cheeses in that boy last night.
I'm trying to figure out every different way to make money from the house. So every way that we can make money online, and trying to study stock markets and the forex and all that stuff. So that's what I'm on because my back is jacked up too. Like I did a lot of moving in my life, and then my last job before it closed, I was like a warehouse manager. So I did like a
Okay.
lot of moving the stores around and different stuff like that. So my back is horrible. So I'm trying to figure out ways that I can make a lot of money just by using my computer. And lately, I've been going to check out houses and stuff like that because always try to have a little. I've been trying to since we moved to Kalamazoo. Been trying to buy a house for the family, and
Mhm.
extremely expensive down here, and the basements is not all that. So I've just been saving up a lot of money. So recently, me and a friend of mine, we have gone to like Flint, Detroit, and Battle Creek to see what type of houses we can buy, fix up, and resell. So that's kind of a little bit what I'm branching off into too. I always wanted to get into the real estate as well. So
Mhm. Battle
every
Creek got some nice houses though.
yeah, we actually just went to Battle Creek, found a beautiful neighborhood that they call the ghetto, but I guess it's the ghetto for them. But
Mhm.
all the houses on the neighborhood or in that on that street was beautiful. It was people out there cutting their grass. They got their sprinklers on. It was like a little community. People was talking to each other. It was mixed. It was white and black, and I
Mhm.
saw some Mexican people, and so it was mixed. But then, like in the center of the block, it was like uh, four houses on this side, right next door to each other, and then two houses on this side that were very nice, but they were all for sale, like 10,000 a piece. So we went
Mhm.
and looked at them. We called a few realtors to see if they can come open up the doors and stuff like that. So we checked some of those houses out. A few of them had like severe fire damage, but then the other ones was just perfect. They was basically in livable condition. So we're following up on a few of those, and yeah, I think that'd be something that we can make some good money off. So
But yeah, I do want to go into our first topic. We kind of got off into a tangent, but first
Yeah.
topic being, the house has passed at this point. At the point that we're recording this, the coronavirus relief bill, which consists of, it's like $3 trillion bill, and it passed. I think it narrowly passed the House, and it's supposed to be going to the Senate. But it's like a lot. I guess a lot of Republicans in the Senate. I'm not super political or whatever. I don't get too deep into politics,
Yeah,
but
me either.
yeah, I know it has to be voted on in the Senate. And I think, oh, he's on the phone. Okay, I think it has to be voted on in the Senate, and it's likely to be at least find some resistance or whatever. But I don't want to talk about the details of the political stuff, but I do want to talk about what some of that 3 trillion is going towards. So I did read that at least half of that 3 trillion is going to be those $1,200 stimulus payments. Um, what did you? I guess I want to get into that first, and I want to get into the breakdown of what else is in that bill. But how do you feel about that? Are you looking forward to, like, some more assistance? I know a lot of people aren't able to work as much as they were, if at all. So are you looking forward to possibly getting another stimulus check?
Hell yeah. All the help I could
That's
get with this
real.
little girl. I mean, man.
Yeah. I think it's
I,
definitely needed. It's like, go ahead.
I would say I don't think I would be as worried about it because I'm not like a real, splurgy type of person. I
Yeah,
don't really
yeah,
like
yeah.
this, but um, right now, yeah, like I said, everything changing. I got to buy all these clothes and diapers and bottles and swings and
Right.
strollers and shit.
I
Yeah.
don't have no kids, but I hear kids is expensive, so I know. I imagine.
They say having a kid is like having a mortgage. So imagine trying to pay rent and mortgage.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's like, even though people are like kind of jokingly saying like we ready to get some more stimulus money, it's actually, of course, needed. Like, people, got bills that haven't stopped, even if their job has stopped allowing them to be at work because they're not essential.
I
People,
honestly
they
feel like
still need.
go ahead, bro. My bad.
Oh, you good. People still need help, basically. Like, the bills didn't stop, and I don't think, people that are renting or doing mortgages, they like. I don't think that's like. I know there's probably some technical ways that you can get some stuff deferred, but like, I think a lot of people aren't aware of those things, and like, I haven't heard much in my circle of people that I talk to about, apartment complexes. Not now the complex that I'm in, they did like waive any kind of late fees until like the end of, like, for April. They waived it until the like April 30th or whatever, the end of April, to kind of help people out. But like, I haven't heard anything about, like, they still wanted the rent. They just waived the late fee. They want their money. They just like, you can give it to us a little later than you usually can. So they still want it. And if you ain't got no money coming in because you ain't working, what you gonna do? So I haven't heard much about places doing anything compensating that way. So I definitely think that it's probably necessary. A lot of people are probably not doing that well financially. They might not have been doing that well before all this stuff started, and then now they can't even work. So a lot of people are probably in a bad position.
Yeah, I kind of think it's been a blessing and a curse, so to speak. I think a lot of people just like in it, because for me, it gave me a lot of time to get a lot of shit done, get a lot of shit prioritized, and that helped a lot. Like, as far as like, preparing for the baby, because I was trying to do a whole lot of shit before we found out she was pregnant. Then now all of a sudden, I got to put all that shit aside and focus on the baby. But by everything being shut down, that gave me time to do a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think in our first episode, we started off talking about the coronavirus because that was like the most relevant thing, and it still is, honestly. But I was saying, like, we need to just make sure that we like basically learn something in this time. This is like a weird time that it probably is going to happen once in our lifetime, where like everything is kind of like almost paused, like a lot of stuff is kind of at a standstill, and that's an opportunity that you don't get very often. Most of the time, the economy is going to be doing this thing, and the workforce is going to be doing this thing. Not many things can shut down an economy, but an airborne, virus and a pandemic definitely can. And this is like probably like for sure the first time that anybody alive that has seen anything at this magnitude. And I think that it's super crazy. The entire thing is like, it's like a movie, honestly. But
It is.
but this opportunity, getting back to what I was saying, that this is like an opportunity that you don't really get very often at all. And I feel like we owe it to ourselves to take advantage of all this extra free time that we have, unless you like are a person that's like essential and working still full time. But people that aren't able to work, or people that have like me, I'm like halfway off, so like I'm still working one of my jobs. But Tommy, you still on the phone? I think he can still hear us. Okay, never mind. Yeah, people that like me, like I'm half off, so I'm working one job and not the other one. So I got that extra time from that one job being shut down, and I've been doing stuff like this podcast, and I've been like running all the social media stuff and doing stuff that I didn't have time to do, honestly, before. I feel like you don't necessarily owe it to yourself, but take advantage of it. It's something, like I said, it's an opportunity where everything is kind of like slowed down. The pace of the world is slowed down a lot right now, and it's given a lot of opportunities. The stocks, like I said, Tommy was talking about. Like, I've gotten into stocks and stuff. We was over there talking about it the other day.
A lot of people in the stocks now, which is a good thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you give a lot of people a chance to do a lot of shit they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, and like, I didn't know the first thing about stocks, which is why I never got into them. But then I something got me thinking about them, and I got into Robinhood and stuff, and I was doing like doing my little bit of research, and I asked one of my cousins that, like, I know he knows more about that than me, and he was giving me like just like some little tips or whatever. But I started to understand, okay, this is basically like the economy is all this like it's kind of like probability and all, like, what you project for a company to do as far as success or failure. Like, do you think it's going down or up? And then it's moving your money according to that. But I've learned all that in this time. I probably wouldn't have had time to sit down and really like research it like I have had this pandemic not happened. So I say all that to say, like, I feel like it's the best time, no better time to learn something new or something that you've always wanted to do or you've been putting off, because you just got extra time. Everybody does. Most people do, unless you're like a worker or whatever. Hats off to the people that have to work, like, more now, like people that are in the medical field that had to work more now than before.
Right.
But the relief bill. So like the stimulus payments are just one part of the $3 trillion relief bill that's proposed. I want to go through some of the breakdown of it. So one of them says like assistance to state and local governments. It says the bill provides $500 billion in direct assistance to state governments, yada yada yada. Hazard pay for frontline workers. So it says that it says the there was established $200 billion of a heroes fund to ensure that essential workers receive hazard pay. Their employers will be able to apply for grants to provide $13 per hour premium pay for their workers on top of their regular wages. These employers would be eligible for grants up to of $10,000 per worker or $5,000 for highly compensated essential workers. So people that are working like, in hospitals and stuff like that, they would be able to get hazard pay, which is dope. Because I mean, it's crazy that they haven't been offered hazard pay at this point. Like people have been dying, like doctors and nurses have died. I'm pretty sure I've read that and heard that. So like for the fact that they in a situation where they could die, you know what I mean, and haven't been offered hazard pay or any kind of like, I mean, I think different like departments sometimes, like I work in one of my jobs is in a hospital, and different departments sometimes throw like, kind of give everybody like some kind of thing, like they might give them some kind of discount on the something or whatever. They give them like little perks for having to work individually as departments, but like some overall like blanket hazard pay I feel like it's just got on the table as far as being a thing.
Yeah, they was calling it hazard pay at first, but it was really just like they just like for people like us. I know they gave us a $2 raise on hourly rate wage, and like that's really not worth my life. So
yeah, it's not. I mean, almost no matter what you make an hour or whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. Go say it again. I couldn't hear you.
I know. I just said I told them give them the least amount of hours they can give me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like that. It's just like it's not worth working for whatever company. Most of the time, it's not. It's definitely not worth your life in any case. And $2 or a small pay bump is not going gonna mean anything if I'm not alive to even reap the benefits of it.
Right.
So the next thing I see on here is it says extension of unemployment benefits. So it says the proposal would, and this is according to CBS News, the proposal will extend a $600 per week boost in unemployment insurance established under the CARES Act until January 2021 to help millions who have lost their jobs during the pandemic. So it would extend that. The next thing says forgiveness of student loan debt. Now that's the one that's like, I mean, y'all should have been did this. Y'all would have had my vote. Y'all would have had my vote a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? If y'all was talking about this.
They little too late for me. My shit done now.
Oh, you done paid it off? Yeah, I can't say that. I wish I could say the same, but if they go ahead and waive it, I would definitely be appreciative. I'll take it if they do it. But that's I think that part of that is
for so long.
You said what?
So they have been taking my taxes for so damn long.
Right. So yeah, I think if they've been talking about that a long time ago, I would have been. But I think that's why like some of the senators, the Republicans, don't want to. I don't know that they oppose that part specifically, but like there's going to be probably resistance in the Senate because a lot of it, like I think the House is Democrat and then the Senate is Republican right now, and they probably are going to resist things like that because Bernie Sanders was trying to work for that, forgiveness of student loan debt. But moving on, it says funding for testing, tracing, and treatment. So like basically what it sounds like, money, $75 billion for coronavirus testing, contact tracing, and isolation measures. And it goes on, election security, direct payments to Americans. Like I said, I think the direct payments to Americans are $1,200 up to $6,000 per household. That is like half of the $3 trillion, just because there's so many people to give $1,200. It's 1.5 trillion. That's what that all would be the $1,200 stimulus payments. And part of me was like, before I got my first one, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get it because I hear people getting theirs and I ain't got mine. Like maybe I got, something weird going on with the IRS or something, or like filing and all that. and it ended up coming in. I wasn't mad. I definitely wasn't mad. I tell you that.
Yeah, I hear that a
Um,
lot too. People just waking up like, oh shoot, I got $3,000 in back pay from unemployment or some crazy shit. It's like,
yeah, I'm trying to do unemployment for my other job, the one that is shut down. And that whole system is kind of crazy. It's not it's they need to
it's nuts.
upgrade it.
It's nuts. It's crazy.
But
Broke it.
moving on,
Nobody getting.
what'd you say?
No, I just said, hey, broke it. Can't nobody get through.
Right. It's like they said over like it's millions and millions of people applying for unemployment at the same time, and then the system that they got, like the technology and the all that is like from the 60s. Like they haven't changed it really since the 60s. So like it's crazy that there's anything like government regulated doesn't that hasn't had an upgrade since the 60s. Like it seems like y'all should like keep that,
Right.
if y'all regulate it, make sure
For the
that it's
most.
like, yeah, like if it's regulated and it's like run by the government, it should be like, the better than what it is for sure. And like, way better.
Right.
But it's a broken system and it's crazy. But I'm still trying to figure it out myself. So I guess I'll keep y'all updated as we have more and more episodes. But I do want to move on a little bit. We've been hearing about Boosie, as in Lil Boosie out of Louisiana, rapper, if you're not aware. Him
Boost.
and
Yeah.
let's jump into Boosie Webby first. I don't know too much. I don't listen to too much rap, but I know, of course, of Lil Boosie. I know like maybe a couple songs of his or so, and then of course same thing with Webby. They had some kind of do you know like how that all, like what was the first part of that? Like they had some kind of a beef for or whatever,
Uh,
right?
they fell out a couple times, but this one it was supposed. I don't know. It's a couple stories, so I don't know even which one to believe. But it was saying when
Right.
Boosie was in jail, like Webby would like come to the interviews and everything, and like yell free Boosie and all of that, but he wasn't like doing nothing for his mama or some stuff like that. But I don't know how true that is. But then it got to the music point, like Boosie doing all this stuff and making all this money, and Webby like not really doing much right now. Like Boosie,
Yeah.
but basically Boosie's standpoint is this train don't stop for nobody, and Webby's standpoint was like, nigga, I stopped for you when you was in jail. So
Oh, so Webby was saying that he ain't did nothing for Webby's mama.
Boost, I mean, that was some shit on. It was like an Instagram post people was posting on Facebook, but I don't know how true that is. And it
Yeah.
was like was arguing back and forth. Some Boosie was talking about some Jeezy and everybody else did something for my mama, but you ain't do nothing, and you supposed to be my brother and all that shit. But I don't know how true that is.
Mm.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that with my eyes. That was just a post on Facebook. But
Yeah, it's hard to like tell like what's the truth, like there's all these different sides, but like what really actually did happen.
I, I believe as far as the Boosie talking, because I saw an interview on Vlad. Vlad asked about Webby because they were saying Boosie it was an interview. Boosie was like, don't ask me about no fucking Webby or something like that. I still ain't been able to find the interview, but
Hmm.
uh, Vlad
Um,
asked about it, and Vlad was like, "I've been interviewing y'all for so long, so I feel like I'm cool to ask about it." Then Boosie was like, "Go ahead," and he was like, "What's up with you and Webby?" Then he was like, "I love that man to death, but this train don't stop for nobody." And that's why I said I'm betting that that's probably the truth. That Webby was mad because Boosie ain't throwing no money his way or some shit. But I don't
mhm.
know. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't. I ain't heard it actually from both of their mouths, but I did hear Boosie say this train don't stop for nobody.
yeah, and it like from what I gathered from like what I've seen about that whole story is that like Webby was kind of like when I guess asked about the whole thing, I think Webby was kind of like, I think correct me if I'm wrong if you know about it, but he was basically like, you a legend, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you your props and your credit, like, but he didn't really like talk down about him at all. And what I had read or had heard, it seemed like it seemed like Boosie was kind of more like, don't ask me about like he was more like that. He was more like,
Me,
mad about it.
yeah, as I said, I ain't really see Webby say nothing crazy about him, but Boosie
But
was
I
just
did.
like. But I did
Go
see
ahead.
that when I was watching the interview, Vlad, when he was asking the question, he was like, somebody said something or something like that, and then he was like, "Don't ask me about no fucking Webby." And then that's when he was like, "I've been interviewing y'all for so long, I feel like it's cool for me to ask about it." So that's when Boosie was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then I'm like, "Okay." So he didn't deny none of that. So that shit must have been true. He must have really said, "Don't ask me about
Yeah.
no fucking Webby." So,
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I wanted to
I
talk
just
about
feel like
Boosie. Oh, go ahead.
I just felt like it was crazy because like just by the era we grew up in, that's one of the fallouts you never think you would see.
Yeah,
That's like
like from the
that
from
was
the
like
public eye,
seeing
it almost seemed like that was like saying what?
Shaq and Kobe fallout. Like, damn, come on, y'all.
Yeah, it's like an iconic duo, and you would just assume that they're good. They're gonna be good forever. They're gonna work out whatever, and then you realize that even they can have a fallout like that.
Like, imagine if Bun B and Pimp C would have fell out. That's crazy.
Right. Any just like iconic duo, you almost just assume that they like just like they're gonna be like best friends for life and all that. But like life throws some stuff at you and make make people change. And sometimes that change, don't allow them two people to stay together. As far as like whatever the relationship y'all had, to begin with, sometimes.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Boosie also in relation to a slightly different topic. Um, I want to talk about Boosie and his son and his fatherhood of his son, as well as Dwayne Wade. Now, back a while ago, I think it might have been a Vlad interview. Honestly, we talking about Vlad, Boosie being on Vlad, I think, and Vlad asked Boosie about Dwayne Wade and about his son. I think originally named Zion, um, now identifying as Zaya Wade, and identifying as a female. And Boosie, had an interview that kind of went viral, or a clip that went viral about that, because he was talking about don't cut his genitals off or whatever. And but that was never like, I think that was never like, they weren't talking about having surgery. They was just saying they're gonna identify, I guess, as a girl. And Dwayne Wade has been in Gabrielle Union have been kind of going along with it and allowing their son to identify as a girl. So recently Boosie has been in the news, basically, or on social media at least, because he had arranged for a grown woman to perform basically a sexual act on his 12-year-old son. And Boosie kind of has had some words about Dwayne Wade's decision to support his son's desire to identify as a woman or a girl. Zion Wade now is identifying as Zaya Wade, identifying as a female. And Boosie had said, had some comments about it. So, but those are two like extreme. Basically, like, you got Boosie trying to make his boy a man like at 12 years old, and then you got the opposite of that, basically, with Zion or Zaya Wade, Dwayne Wade allowing his son to identify as a girl I think she's a similar age, like around 12 years
Yeah.
old. So I'm interested. What do you think about? I guess start with like Boosie's situation. What do you think about that?
I feel like Boosie a crazy motherfucker.
Right.
I wouldn't do it myself, but I mean, not to excuse it, but I mean, some people you just can't say that. Like, only person I feel like can actually say something to Boosie is Dwayne Wade, honestly, because he spoke on Boosie. I mean, I'm Dwayne Wade kid,
Yeah.
so Wade, this show Get Back. Go ahead and say something. But
Yeah.
other
And
than his
it's
baby mama and Dwayne Wade, that nigga that's Boosie. Like, he been rapping about doing that shit before anybody even batted an eye, and everybody was rapping along and agreeing like, hell yeah, I do that for my son. Now,
he got a song with it in it when you say that or something.
man, Boosie crazy. Boosie a crazy motherfucker. He be talking about some crazy shit in his music. He said something like he gonna get his son a Ferrari at 7 and get his dick sucked at 12 or some, or it was like flipped around or something like that. It was like, so it was crazy. You just funny as fuck.
He
He also
I mean,
like
yeah, is and so I was like doing the research for this topic, and I was like watching the video that he said it in. Like I was on Instagram. He'd be on Instagram heavy, but
right.
it was on Instagram, and he was just talking like he was just him on camera, and so he like just that show you that he don't even really care about people think about it. He just admitting it for no reason. Like nobody asked
Right.
him. He's just like, yeah, I did it, yeah.
Yeah.
And he said like he's preparing them for I guess what's to come. And I my perspective is this: like at 12 years old, first of all, you were a kid. Like let a kid be a kid. Like that's not something that a kid should be like should have experienced. I mean, like anything sexual, because I mean, if it was actual sexual intercourse, you're not trying to have a 12-year-old with a kid. Like people get, people have been gotten pregnant at 14 years old and stuff. And I feel like introducing them to that before their like mind is even developed is like, I don't know, man. Like it's changing like the trajectory of their life. I feel like kids kind of, I don't know. I feel like that's not even the time in your life for nothing like that. And but then you have people saying like, well, that's how he parent. You can't tell him how to parent. No, you can't tell nobody how to parent. Nobody's even debating that. But like that's like low key pedophilia. Like almost not even low key. Like it's straight up like he's 12 years old. Hold
Yeah.
on. I think Tommy giving me the signal. I think. Hold on.
Yeah. He said he
You
back.
back?
Yeah, had to handle
Okay.
some business. What topic y'all on, the Boosie?
Yeah, we was talking about Boosie and his son. So I was saying that like it's low key like pedophilia. Like he's 12 years old. Like imagine if it was Boosie, but he had a daughter and he had a grown man like perform a sexual act on his daughter. It would be a completely different story.
Yeah.
Even like
I don't know what all y'all have said about that, but I can.
And we
Boosie.
literally just got
Oh, okay. Boosie's ghetto for one, and then like back in the day when people, little bit, the whole world is freaky for one, and well, all little boys be like, man, I can't wait till I have a son because I'm gonna make sure he hit a bad grown lady, and you know what I mean. So he's probably still thinking like that because that's what type of stuff he's come from. And now that he's rich, he's able to do it. So in his mind, he probably feel like, man, I'm looking out, like my son's gonna love me. I'm real for this. But in the world's eyes, it's nasty and it's trifling and it's wrong. Just like how he was saying about D Wade's son. You know what I mean? According to another thing that a lot of people don't realize, everyone does not grow up with the same morals and values. Like we
right.
grew up primarily in a Christian based home, so a lot of that stuff that we see going on, like and no offense to anybody, but the way that we were raised up, or I was raised up, that fires the Bible, that being gay was wrong and having sex before marriage is wrong. Now, I'm not bashing anybody
Yeah.
that does that, and I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying this is the way that I was brought up. So
exactly.
a lot of people was also brought up that way. So that way, when information get put on the internet, then you have the masses forming opinions about people. So that's so I think first of all, people should be private and not put all their business on the internet in the first place. But I can understand what he may have was thinking, but I also know and understand that it's wrong, and know that a lot of people feel as though it's wrong, which it is. You know what I mean? But I just can understand him not being like a super saved, sanctified Christian and just being a thug and a hood dude that probably values sex at an early age. Because all young boys do. When we all were young, we like can't wait to have sex, or I want me an older girlfriend, or I'm gonna fall asleep in my girlfriend. Or, you know what I mean? Different stupid stuff that we
Yeah.
say or think when we are young. So I think by him being a rapper, uh, he has the ghetto mindset, and that's probably to him, he probably think he's the man for doing that. So
And
I think I feel. Go ahead.
I often say I'm glad you said that because I was trying to get that point across to people too. Like I actually haven't seen anybody actually defend him in the sense of saying he was right. I think a lot of people was trying to like give insight as to why he was doing it, and then everybody started playing a judgment battle. Like you just this and that, and you like. I don't think that was ever the case because I think a lot of people understood where he was coming from because a lot of people actually are ghetto and all this other crazy shit. They just a lot of people actually do understand where he came from. And I
Yeah.
was trying to give people insight, like you got to stop picking and choosing what's right and what we gonna justify. Like you can't sit here and say you one side was right and then the other side was wrong, or like they both was wrong if you want to think about it, because that's both of them are just adult decisions. Like you want,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just think a lot of people just like to play that judgment game, and I don't. I think that's crazy.
So then it's
Yeah.
like, oh my bad. Like, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Say if you feel that
Right.
it's wrong, you think it's wrong. What you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? We don't even know these people, so that's why. And not saying that they should hide stuff like this, because stuff should be done, I guess, or whatever the case may be. But what are we as people that don't even know these people? Like I didn't met Boosie them a few times, but I don't know him. You know what I mean? We didn't kick it with Webby and Flint a few times, but we don't really know it. You know what I'm saying? That was just like moments in time. We don't know these
Yeah.
like that, or you know what I mean? So it's like people put all their business or information on the internet for people's minds to form opinions about it. But what is anybody really going to be able to do? You know what I mean?
You
Unless
can't.
you know these people directly or you got direct access. You know what I'm saying? People just form opinions. That's all people can do. This guy is
Sides
wrong.
argue about it.
Yeah, I think that one thing, a couple things, but one, like I think like individuals can't do anything in most cases, but I think that like social media, and it's not the first time, social media has in the past taken like putting light on certain things that may not have, like even that Maud Arbery shooting or whatever that happened in February, but it kind of just caught the wave on social media recently, and then all of a sudden now they getting charged. So like I think a lot of times social media can like end up triggering like an investigation. So like that being public and because that could be used as evidence in an investigation. Because Boosie on camera saying that he did it, he nobody's asking, he just like straight up just, volunteering this information. So I mean he could get himself in trouble with that video. So I think like we can't do anything, of course. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to judge nobody, but like it's like I said, it's like pedophilia. Like if I had a 12-year-old and any grown man was thinking about doing anything with like a 12-year-old daughter or a grown woman thinking about doing anything with a 12-year-old son, I'm I'm ready to fight for mine. I'm ready to kill for mine because like they're a kid. They're 12 years old. That's not even a teenager yet. And I know his parent arranged for it, but it's crazy that Boosie is in that mindset. Like Boosie, you got kids. Like you
Right.
got kids. You are a grown man. You can't be acting like a kid with kids.
Right.
Like you
Right.
got to be the grown up in the situation. You got to understand that like in any kind of other context, this would be considered like statutory rape or like a pedophilia or like with a minor, because it's 12 years old. And it's not even 16, not 18, like 12. Like what grade are you in when when you're 12 years old? Like what, sixth?
Yeah. The fifth.
Yep. 6 going to 7.
Right. So like I'm in sixth going to seventh grade and I got my dad getting a grown woman. Like who is this grown woman? I want to know that. Like who was like, yeah, I do it. Like like like
Random bitch you brought in here.
Like, do she got a disease or anything, or is she trifling with her? You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. Like who is this?
But
If anybody know when y'all watching this video, comment if y'all know who this woman is. But like anyone, like it's on so many levels. And like I said, I'm not trying to judge as if I am the judge, jury, and executioner, but I'm saying like any
no,
like you got Boosie on one level saying, I want this for my son. That's crazy. Then you got a woman that's like, you want that for your son? Okay, I can do that. Like, that's crazy. And then the
Yeah.
whole thing is crazy.
Oh, I'm
You said
sorry.
what?
yeah.
At the same time, though, if they already in the ghetto, what woman that okay? So they know all thoughts, probably. You know what I'm saying? All these women is probably
For the
either
most part.
whores or something, or freaky, and then they
Yeah.
get opportunity to possibly get a large lump sum of cash. So you know what I'm saying? Women, they gonna go for it. They got Boosie. First of all, they get to say it's bragging rights. They get to say, "Oh, I've been with Boosie's son," or you know what I mean. you got to think of the mind of like a ghetto thought or something. And no offense to nobody, but they probably like, shoot, this is an opportunity for me to get on. You know what I mean? I could do this for Boosie, and he finna pay me. You know what I mean? Because they probably got paid. But
I mean, I think a similar argument is like racism. So like it'll be white people especially like in the South, and it might be like, well, they in the South. That's how the South was. That's what they come from. Like, but it's like, but we still don't have a tolerance for racism, even though that's what they come from. That's where they are. That's like the atmosphere. Even it's still objectively seen as wrong. I think that we got to be the same, like use the same logic in this case. Like even if you come from the ghetto, the slums, whatever, that has honestly, that has nothing to do with it. That's a decision that you're making. It don't matter. Like you have to individually make that decision. Like your atmosphere doesn't completely determine your actions. Like you had to sit down and say, I want this to happen for my son. And I also want to move us along a little bit, but I want to talk about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's decision to allow their son Zion Wade to identify as Zaya Wade, therefore identify as a girl. I think that like it's crazy that you would even consider a 12-year-old's, or I can't remember, I don't know the age of, I might be able to look it up, of Zaya or Zion Wade, but like probably around the same age, 12 years old, like I said, and like allow them to make a decision that's going to like really affect their rest of their life. Like it's actually going to be something that follows you, like it's not follows you, but like if I identify as a girl all of a sudden, like that changes a lot of stuff in my life, and I'm making a decision at 12 years old. Like 12 years old, you probably don't even know, like, because like it's not gender reassignment surgery necessarily. There's no like procedures being done that I know of, but they basically it's like identification. So how you talk to me, you say she instead of he, you say her instead of he, and pronouns. So, but I'm like a 12-year-old or however old he is, because I don't refer to him as I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like offensive to them or dead name, but like, come on, man, I'm not trying to play God and say I was born this, but I need to be this, so I'm this now. I'm not that progressive to say that. So, like to let a little kid make that kind of a decision, like he probably like it's all about pronouns and identification and pronouns and stuff. Like they probably don't even know how to use pronouns that well in general, like regular pronouns. Like they probably can't even define pronoun and want to identify as like something different. And then the parent part of it. So I want to bring those two topics up and kind of generally talk about like Black celebrity fatherhood and like what effect do y'all think that has being in the public eye too? Like these decisions, like other little boys are probably looking at Zaya or Zion Wade and saying like, I kind of felt the same way. I just didn't know how to tell my mom and dad or whatever. And then, you also got other parents that's probably like, yeah, I did the same thing for my son with Boosie thing. So what do y'all think about like that kind of the effects of that potentially?
I think it's deeper than all of that, and that there possibly may be sponsors and all kind of stuff to get a celebrity to go public with certain things. First of all, the root of it is, like I said before, no one has grew up with the same moral values as the next person. Like we grew up Christian based and all that. They may have not. You know what I mean? So that may be regular to them or their family, or you know what I mean, in their family history to be doing stuff like that. Or it could be because they use celebrities to advertise, because for some reason people think that a celebrity is always right. People are easily influenced by celebrities. So if and the gay community is becoming more and more popular. So if they can get a super athlete to go public about um turning his son into a daughter, that will influence all kind of people to, you know what I mean? Well, if he's doing it, maybe it's right, or that's the thing to do. Because nowadays it's like it's all about the thing to do next. And that's why you got so many people going videotaping themselves live doing weird stuff, like saying that he's getting his son some head, or that he's changing his son into a daughter, or people are shooting people on live. Is almost like the next, I don't know. It's weird. It's something that I would not do, and that me and my beliefs is against it. But um, it's a lot of people that's not that strong and that will look at them for. It's probably people that worship him. You know what I mean? Like think about like Michael Jackson back in the day. People used to go to his concerts and pass out and all kind of stuff. And think about how
Right.
people look at Michael Jordan. Oh, Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. People passing out, or if they get a handshake, they not washing their hands for the rest of their life, and all kind of stuff. So it's people that look at Dwayne Wade like that, and so I think that's the influence that he can have on people is to get a lot of people to start doing this. And we already know that the world is wicked and all kind of stuff. So it's really sad, but I don't know. All I can say is pray wisdom for all these people, and just pray for people in the first place, because this world is wicked, and as far as what we believe,
That
that may not be wicked for them. That's what we believe in, but yeah, we got to.
Right.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense too though, because in that same video where he was saying he got his sons and his nephews dicks up at 12 or whatever it was, he was talking about it's better than them watching cartoons because the cartoons got boys kissing each other and all of that crazy shit. And so that I guess that do play a part in his decision and all that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
I mean,
watched it yesterday.
yeah, I didn't even think about that either. Because like I said, those stories are kind of linked. Because even Boosie did an interview talking about, he thought he was going to cut his penis off or whatever, even though that was never really mentioned or alluded to. But like Boosie has had things to say about Dwayne Wade's and Gabrielle Union's a decision or whatever. Um, and I don't get. I think that even if it wasn't beforehand, like it wasn't sponsored before for them to like come out and say that, like confession, they definitely got deals now, probably got like new affiliations with like the LGBT community, new support systems, like coming out publicly and saying that, like they got all kind of backing, because like that's how it is with that community. Like the LGBT community is like, as soon as you are considered brave enough, to confess it or come out or whatever, like they back you like 100%. Like they like new Black Panther, that type stuff. Like they'll flag you if you saying anything bad about it or whatever. Um, so I think that even if it wasn't beforehand, I think he probably got some new affiliations with like that community now naturally, just because they made a public decision like that.
Yeah, that's kind of also like the Trayvon Martin stuff. Um, like he probably got so many sponsors and what I'm saying, different stuff from probably like the Ku Klux Klan and different organizations to
Yep.
help them. And, you know what I mean? So the base of it is the world is wicked. There's a lot of wickedness going on, and there's definitely wickedness in high places. So that way we just got to be prayerful, be watchful, be wise, and be alert and be ready. You know what I
And
mean?
it's like, it's crazy that the higher you go up on, usually on like the food chain and like corporations and stuff, usually is like the dirtier, like the dirty is like like a dirty on like the bottom level is like, well, they steal money or whatever, like accounts. But then on a high level, you like that money that you stealing is big money, like. And this is like, even like the whatever, like it's just get emphasized that the higher you go up, because they got way more resources and leverage in a company, and they can do more. But which that's completely unrelated. I just thought about that. But yeah, it's overall, I'm wrapping up this segment up. Um, I think both of them is kind of out there as far as situations, like they're obviously out on the opposite end. One trying to make his son become a man too early, and then now they got one son becoming a daughter, and it's bizarre. We definitely living in like the future, because this was like in the 90s. Like think about coming out as gay in the 90s. Like it was nowhere near as accepted.
This shit was not. None of this shit was normal in the 90s.
It was
Yeah,
like, and go ahead.
America was Christian based then. You know what I mean? Like the money was in God we trust. They trying to remove all that. They taking it out of school. You mentioned Jesus' name and convalescent homes, and it's grounds for lawsuit now. So a lot has changed, just like the Bible said it would. You know what I mean? So yeah, the times are different. The world is
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like we also have to. I think like back then it was like way more like I mean even in Black culture in general, I think there's a lot of homophobia, like extra not gay. Like we got to be like so not gay that it's like like you can't even be like this the similar to like something that seemed like metrosexual in Black culture for whatever reason. We like got to be hyper masculine and hyper whatever. But I mean now that whole persona, I guess, in the culture has kind of been changed as everybody's gotten more progressive, and people, it's way more common for TV shows to have gay characters and stuff now. I'm getting yeah, it's way more common to have TV shows to have like gay characters now, and like almost every time now is always a gay character. Now there's like lesbian and like trans characters. If you're talking about like Orange is the New Black, trans character Laverne Cox. So it's way more way more common than it would have. This like even back in the day, you couldn't even show people on TV in the bed, like even man and woman. So like we've gone from like way more conservative, like kind of right wing type of to like more liberal, and but it's all very it's very crazy, very interesting or entertaining at the least. But I do want to move on. We talked a while about that. I want to move on to the next topic. And just the other day, here lately on Instagram and social media, they have been doing a lot of these what they call versus battles. And the latest one is Nelly and Ludacris did a versus battle on Instagram Live. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch the entire thing, but I do have the song list. Did y'all watch that?
I actually did not watch the entire thing because when I hear battle, I'm thinking of like a URL type battle back and forth. So a lot of the song playing battles, I have not really watched the entire thing, but I will go back and uh, watch them. But I just wanted to sign off and let y'all know I'm Tommy, by the way, and
I forgot you had to go.
Chile 4/5 Productions. I do fireworks shows and I produce music. So if anybody want to contact me, my information is here on my shirt. You can reach me at tilly45 at yahoo.com or my phone number.
Of promotion, go ahead.
Y'all have a great and blessed day. Remember to be wise and stay encouraged. And I'm out of here.
All right, bro. Be smooth, man. All right. A lot of battles have been going on Instagram. These versus battles. They had Teddy Riley versus Babyface. That was a big one. You had Jill Scott versus Erykah Badu, and now one of the latest ones is Nelly versus Ludacris. I watched a little bit of it in the beginning. I wanted to watch the beginning to see how like the energy was, like if they was kind of like really trying to go at it, or they was more so like and it was super respectful, and like they was giving like Nelly mentioned that both of them had released their album 20 years ago. Like this year, so like it was the 20th anniversary for both of them as they were doing that, so they was kind of like giving each other props and stuff like that, like and Ludacris was talking about the fact that he was congratulating them on having a diamond album. I guess when Nelly's albums went diamond back in the day, and that's not something. Yeah, not many rappers have that to their credit, so he was giving them his props, and then they kind of got started. I didn't watch the entire thing, so but they say that Ludacris won. I'm looking at Billboard right now. According to Billboard, Ludacris is like the declared winner, but they go into the breakdown of the songs. Let me see. I got it right here. So I guess round one, I just want to go through some of these songs and see what we think. I know I'm more on the Ludacris side. I feel like I know more of his music. Nelly, like I definitely know some of his music, but it was more like the singles. It wasn't so much of the album stuff. But let me see. I got this song list. If I can pull it up, I had it up right here. Go ahead.
That was actually the difference in the battle. Nelly played more of his personal shit than Ludacris did. Ludacris was playing all of his like 106 in Park TV hits, like the ones know. And
yeah,
Nelly was
I've heard people
like
saying that.
couple personal joints. He played one with the song he had with Janet Jackson. He played that one because it was her birthday, and people went crazy. Like, "Oh, what's this, Nelly? What's this?" I'm like, "He played it for her birthday." You hear him say it?
Yeah, like all I saw, because I didn't actually watch it, but I was looking at social media and I saw people saying like, "Oh, Nelly getting washed in this battle," like basically, like, and so like to go
Song for
what you say?
song, no, on paper, yeah, he got washed like a mug. But when you watch the battle, it was actually a good battle. It was only like probably like 2 or 3 songs that I heard that he played that was like personal.
So let's go through some of the songs. So like says round one, Ludacris, he played "Welcome to Atlanta" with him and Jermaine Dupri, and then Nelly played "Nah Nah Nah Nah" with featuring Jazzy Faye. I don't even know the "Nah Nah Nah Nah." I might know it by hearing it, but I don't remember that name
Yeah,
title or that song
hearing it,
title.
but Lucas definitely won that round.
Round two, Ludacris played him and Shauna's "P Poppin'," and Nelly's Nelly played "Tip Drill." Now I remember Tip Drill. I remember both of these songs. Out of those two, I mean, if I had to pick out of those two, I would probably think Tip Drill. Tip Drill was like an iconic a moment in like we was like in high school, maybe middle school.
I think Tip Drill win off the video, but if it's just the song, I think Keep Poppin' was probably a better song.
Yeah, it's like BET Uncut probably is the deciding factor in this one. I feel like BET have it like they had a did they I don't think they had a the poppin' video for Ludacris. And they had one. I don't know,
They
but
had one for him. It was in a
they did
strip club.
okay. Yeah, I can imagine, but yeah, Tip Drill. I think it's way more of an iconic moment in music and like music video history.
He got that off the strength of that alone.
Now, round three, Ludacris featuring Nicki Minaj, "My Chick Bad," and versus Nelly's "Pimp Juice." Now, "Pimp Juice," I Nelly got to win that one. Like that was like at the time, like now is like it sounds stupid to listen to, but at the time, "Pimp Juice" was cold.
Pimp Juice won that one. People
Yeah,
still say that.
yeah, and he actually had "Pimp Juice." Remember that? Like it was actually a drink for a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would get that to Nelly, and I think that's on Billboard. Of course, like they have the round, they have like a little description, and they have who won, and they for that one they have what Nelly winning. They had Nelly winning for Tip Drill as well, and then Ludacris winning for Welcome to Atlanta. So it sounds pretty accurate right now as far as how I feel.
It was actually good.
Round four was Ludacris Ho versus Nelly's Flap Your Wings. Now neither one of these, I'm not even like it's not even ringing a bell. Flap Your
I know
Wings.
both of them. Ludacris' song is "Use a Ho
Oh,
you,"
yeah.
and the Flap Your Wings is "Drop Down and Get Your Eagle On, Girl."
Oh, that's called Flap Your Wings. I thought it's like Get Your
Because
Eagle
he's
On or
saying
something.
like "Drop Down and Get Your Eagle On, Girl, Flap Your Wings."
Oh, okay. I never even heard that part. Like I never noticed that part in the song.
He
Him saying
whispered in the background. You got it.
that. Well, out of those two, because I do remember I remember both of them now that I know which one it is. But
Little one that one though.
well, on Billboard it said that one was a tie. They called that one a tie. And that's kind of how I was feeling. That's why I was like, I don't know, but like, cause like that was like another iconic, like hard, like everybody
That
knew
was
that
just
song.
one of my favorite songs when it came out. I must have been a badass kid.
Round five, Ludacris Saturday versus Nelly versus City Spud. Nelly featuring City Spuds Ride With Me. Oh, if you want to go and take a ride with me, that one.
That was the fifth one.
They say fifth ride with me.
I seen the whole battle then. Them first four was the only ones I ain't seen. I seen this one.
Oh, yeah. So out of those two, because that's the it's Saturday. And
Sticky
that's how
icky.
the,
Sticky
yeah.
icky.
I would ride with me was that was probably one of my first songs I ever heard of Nelly's.
That was probably more iconic though.
Yeah, and Billboard
and all over the place. That bitch went. He had a plaque for it, I think. That bitch went diamond or some shit. That one went crazy.
Yeah, I remember being a kid and hearing that, like that, and well, it's probably gonna be in the list soon, but the
Grammy.
Country Grammar, yeah. And okay, so like Billboard calls that one the Saturday versus Ride With Me. They said Nelly won. I'm gonna have to switch to my iPad, but I mean my iPhone. But yeah, next round is What's Your Fantasy featuring Nelly's Country Grammar, or What's Your Fantasy by Ludacris versus Country Grammar by what's the name? Dang, that's hard too. Like that's super hard. Like
that not a tie? That gotta be a tie. I can't choose.
Well, between those two songs, so Country Grammar versus because I remember like what was it? What's your fantasy or whatever, like that. Like people know that, like to this day, like haven't heard it in years, but if they played it right now, people know that word for word. So like that impact was crazy, and then like Country Grammar, that was like I said, either the Country Grammar or Ride With Me had to be like the first song I ever heard of Nelly's, like because that's like the first song I can remember, like hearing Nelly's voice, and either Country Grammar or that Ride With Me. I just can't remember because those two remind me of each other. Those two songs.
I was gonna say Country Grammar was the first for me. That was that
hot
shit. I'm going down.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first one for me too. So yeah, round 6 was Country Grammar versus Shauna's Ludacris and Shauna's What's Your Fantasy. They called that a tie. They did call it a tie. Round 7 is Rollout. That dun 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 dun. That one. Yeah. And then Nelly played him and Ashanti's Body on Me. I don't remember Body on Me. I don't know if I heard that.
I can't remember how it went, but I do remember the song. But yeah, I already knew. I remember. Yeah, Ludacris won that one.
But the thing is, I think with these battles, you got to like play the crowd. You got to know what people are gonna be like, going to set people off when they hear it.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's where Nelly messed up. Messed up because he ain't played the crowd like he should have.
So that's round 7. They gave that to Ludacris. Rollout won, and I feel like I remember Rollout, but I don't remember the other one. And I think that's like, I mean, that's my perspective. I'm kind of biased because I don't know as much of Nelly's music. But round 8 is Splash Waterfalls. I remember that one, and then Jaheim's My Place. Now I do remember that, the My Place. So out of those two, honestly, I probably would like personally rather listen to My Place than Splash Waterfall. I mean, both of them is cool, but I see how Splash Waterfalls would have won though. Like you said, playing the crowd is like what Nelly didn't really seem to do. As I'm reading this, but I probably would, because I'm more like R&B like type anyway. You see my shirt, 90s R&B and chill.
I did see that.
So yeah, I probably would rather, but like Ludacris, according to Billboard, Ludacris won that one.
Ludacris did, I was saying Ludacris did had an R&B remix to that too, though.
Oh, Splash Waterfalls?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he had his verses, but he had I forgot who he had singing on it, and they like singing in the background as he going. They had a little breakdown and shit.
Oh yeah, it does say Splash Waterfalls, Whatever You Want remix.
Yeah.
So okay, you played a different version. So the next one is, how many rounds is this? I don't want to take too long on
20.
this. 20 rounds. Okay, so we on like maybe like 9, I think. 9. Yeah, 9. So I'm gonna go through like a couple more, and then I'm gonna just get to the bottom at the end of it. So next one, round 9, was Sierra featuring Ludacris. Oh, I do remember that song. And you got the Notorious B.I.G. featuring Diddy, Nelly, Jagged Edge, and Avery Storm's Nasty Girl. So that's a song with a whole bunch of people. Nasty
Girl. That was from a compilation album Nelly did. Like it was like basically a tribute to Biggie, basically.
Okay, yeah. I think I've heard both. I know I've heard I think I've heard Nasty Girl too, but that went to Ludacris. Round 11. Let me see. I'm gonna go to another one that's like a good I feel like a good pairing. This is a good one. Round 12 is Jagged Edge featuring Nelly's Where the Party At versus Usher featuring Ludacris and Lil Jon's Yeah. Now, I don't think you could put anything like as far as impact and like smash, like just like a record smash, like against Yeah. Like that was like out that as soon as you hear that dun 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 dun, like as soon as you hear that, it's like I don't know, it's like it got a whole different when that came out, I feel like that was a huge song.
That's a hard song for any song to compete with, but at the same time, that was like one where the party at is like one of the songs that can kind of come close, but I don't think it can beat it though. It just come close. Like that's one of the songs. Like once you start playing, you're like, oh shit, this shit is kind of hard.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's one of them songs that like it was such a big hit and got played so much that it was like it got to the point where you get tired of hearing it. Like, and when you hit now, it's funny how that can be, dude. Like you hear a song too much, it could be a good song, but it's like you get tired of hearing it. It's like, all right, man. Like you almost don't like it. No, you like it still, but like you almost don't want to hear it no more. Like that's how I am. I know.
All right, Jagged Edge, just trying to cut y'all off.
It's like I like this. I know it was a smash and stuff, but it's got played to death on radio, and they had it in Hitch, and like it was like come on, and like that was like I feel like that was one song that was kind of like universally liked by black, white people. Like it was very accepted. It was like
it was one of them songs that you liked as soon as the very first time that bit came on.
Yeah, like and crazy enough, like ironically, right. Ironically, back then I thought I heard Nelly on that song. Like I heard it on the radio first, and I didn't know who it was. And this was before you could just like Shazam stuff and figure out. And some reason I thought it was Nelly, but then it was ended up being Ludacris. Some reason in that song I could hear Nelly's voice. Maybe I feel like he might be on. Like I could see him on it. But before we move on, I'm gonna keep talking about this a little bit more. But I do want to jump in and do a quick little promotion. So last week I put a little extra bonus secret part in the episode where I said that if you were to comment on the video that you were watching and comment your Cash App name and the word stimulus, I would have given you $20. And nobody did it. And I put it in the middle of the episode because I knew that people wouldn't probably watch that far into the episode or not for that long. And nobody sent it. So one more time, right here, wherever, what is it, an hour and 12 seconds in, might be less than that when I edit it down. But right here, it's $ the stimulus podcast. Actually, I think I can put it up on the screen, but I'm going to put it right here on the card on the screen. $ the stimulus podcast, all one word. If you send your Cash App name and the word podcast to that or comment on this video whenever you're seeing this, I'll send you $20. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna have faith in y'all that y'all do it this time and watch to this point. But Rome, you can't tell nobody that you can't tell nobody. You just gotta let people watch it and see. Don't tell nobody. Don't tip them off to this. Just let them watch it and see. And don't nobody say nothing to me again this time. Then I know y'all ain't really watching, and I'm gonna have to get on your head again. So anyway, back to this. Yeah, was like a crazy smash. Like it was like Blurred Lines. Like that's another one of them songs where like it was so big that I just didn't want to hear it no more. Like I heard it all the time. Every time I turn the radio on, it's on. I was like, okay, I don't want to hear it no more. But so that versus Where the Party At. And I do like Where the Party At. That was a big hit. But it wasn't nowhere near as like just like a complete across the board smash as Yeah. But to wrap that, it was like 20 rounds.
That same kind of magnitude, but it like as far as like an all-time, hell no.
Yeah, like even like I didn't even think about Where the Party At until I was reading the song list of the battle. But like Yeah is a clear like smash. Like you'd be dumb not to even include that.
You don't think about Where the Party At unless you go back to like 2001.
But people said that Nelly, part of the reason Nelly was losing because his internet was bad. I saw in the beginning he was like kind of breaking up too. I know how it is. I know how it is, Nelly. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, the internet don't be making you freeze up and stuff, and I understand. It be happening to me all the time.
They was on there talking about some Nelly had enough. He said, fuck this shit.
Yeah, so he was like, I guess that like it kind of it messed up his rhythm of being able to like, you know what I'm saying, like roll it out like with a certain smoothness. And I think sometimes the delivery of the song, it was like when Babyface did Babyface versus Teddy Riley, he was like especially his first song, he like kind of like told a story before it and then kind of just went into it off of a story. And I was like, oh, that was smooth. Like as once the music started, I'm thinking in my mind, like, man, that was smooth in the mug. Like, like
he was like, that
right, he
was
like
really good, Teddy.
hypnotized you,
Really good.
hypnotized you into the song.
Like that was really good, but the last time I heard that song, I had to talk to Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson told me to play this. Like, what
Right.
the fuck?
He
How the
told a
fuck
story about Michael
know you
Jackson.
was gonna be in this battle, nigga?
He told Michael Jackson told the story about Michael Jackson calling him wanting a date with Halle Berry.
Yeah. It was like
I'm like,
Tony Braxton or something like that.
yeah, and oh yeah, was it Tony Braxton?
I think so, and they had ended up coming up with a song after that or something like that.
Okay, but like
I
he just
can't
tell a
remember.
random story, random like
It was.
he dropping these like random stories with like super like celebrities and stuff, these exclusive stories, and then like here goes a song. Like right after that, he'll blow your mind with a story and then hit you with a song. Like
How
being
you
able to
captivated like a motherfucker. And you be like, damn, oh yeah, we is in a battle.
right. You all like you engaged, you look at you got popcorn out, you super like entranced by what his like delivery, and then he just throw a song on. So like you can't do that when you got spotty Wi-Fi or like a spotty connection. It's kind of mess it up. Like you was in there and it'll take you out of it if it starts breaking up and freezing. So right, like dang, I think he's talking about a ham sandwich. But yeah, so the overall winner was decided. Somebody cutting grass or something over there.
Somebody is vacuuming above me.
Oh, okay. You good though. But overall winner was considered to be Ludacris, and you know from the rounds that I read, like I can see how that would be. Those songs like Nelly's, like you said, he didn't pick the crowd favorites. He picked like what he might like. He playing stuff for like people's birthdays and stuff, dedicating stuff to people. So I feel like I'm hearing that it's cool. That's the effects of coronavirus. We at home, so people doing home stuff, people vacuum, and it happens. I think I might have had the fire alarm that was like beeping that I needed like the low battery. But
oh yeah,
we at home, man. We at home. So y'all listening, you know, it's authentic. We really at home. We not in the same room because we are trying to, you know, what I'm saying socially distance and stuff.
They really in this same spot, like they like vacuuming the hell out this one spot.
Like it's really dirty right there. Like they just need to focus right there for a minute.
That's what I'm not looking forward to with having kids.
Yeah.
Popcorn crumbs and Pop Tarts and shit all over the place.
So what I'm gonna do is while that's going on, I'm gonna just like while I'm talking, I'll either mute or whatever, just so that's not coming through. But
right.
Let me see. But next, we were going into our last. Well, before we do that, I do want to one more time. It's usually two co-hosts on the podcast, and that was the plan this time. But our friend, our co-host, my cousin, Vision, we couldn't find him. Where is Vision? So if y'all know where Vision is, comment below where y'all think he is. Do y'all think he was asleep? Do y'all think that, you know what I'm saying, he was on some kind of secret mission, trying to, you know, discover the launch codes, you know what I'm saying, for the US or, you know, whatever? Like, what do y'all think he was doing? And we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna piece it together after this is over with. But I want to move us into our last segment. But before I do, I also want to make sure that y'all are subscribing on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm gonna run a ticker if I have it right here at the bottom of the screen. It says follow us on the Stimulus Podcast on YouTube and Facebook, but we're also on Apple Podcasts. Let me slow down. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anywhere audio podcasts are available. And then, like I said, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. We are pretty much everywhere anything is available social media wise. So follow us, subscribe, comment. Where is Vision at? Where do you think he is? You know what I'm saying? Maybe if y'all got the right answer, I might throw something y'all way on Cash App as well. Remember to go to Cash App, $ the cash, the stimulus podcast is right here on the screen. $ the stimulus podcast to donate. Donate $5, donate whatever, $10, $100, whatever you see fit. Anything helps. So we want to definitely allow y'all to do that. So, but I want to go into our last topic. We usually end with a game, and it's somewhat of a game. It's like a conversational game. But I want to start end with would you rather. I'm gonna pick out a few topics if I can. My iPad died, but I'm gonna pull up some different ones. But I want to start us off with one while I get the rest of the list. And I'm gonna say, would you rather? One of them said, would you rather only be able to whisper or rather only be able to yell? Like only be able to whisper or only be able to yell? It is funny because you can just immediately imagine situations where yelling would be like, not okay. And then and then like when you whisper, it's like, why don't you speak up? It's nothing. Like all you had to do is use. So yeah, what would you rather do?
Only whisper. I take only whisper. That's like that's like being deaf, but I can hear.
Yeah, it's definitely like because
I
only
can't
yelling.
Really, like I can't argue back with you. I can't yell. I can't do nothing, but I can.
I can hear you, but you gonna have to be quiet to hear me.
Right, you got to shut up. Just to be always yelling and like, good morning.
Right, like I was thinking like at nighttime, like you over there dying, like you just have to yell it, like.
Oh shit, that'd probably be fun as fuck, bro. Just to see somebody every fucking day. Oh my god, bro, why you always yelling?
That's why I can't even mess with Jerome no more.
His friend always whisper.
Right, they the friends. It's Jay and Silent Bob. Yeah, I can imagine like nighttime activities, like being the yeller, like being the only yeller, like the only person that can only yell, like be anything at night. Like, why is you yelling? Like, I can hear you over here. Like, and then you got the whisper dude, like it's like, nigga, if you don't speak up, bro, like I really can't hear you and I'm standing right next to you. Like, why are you whispering?
Just imagine you in a dead silence and you gotta ask somebody something, but you can only yell.
Yeah, they probably jump out their shoes. Like in the darkness, is a voice coming out of the darkness, super loud. You can't see it. But yeah, so I would probably go with. I think whisper is the logical thing to go with. I think you can get away with whispering because like it's discreet, but yelling is like it comes. There's definitely pros and cons to both, but I think there's more cons to yelling all the time. So I want to go to the next one. We both said whispering on that. Would you rather live without music or without television?
Television. And I don't watch TV anyway.
I want to change that one a little bit. So like, let's say music or like visual. So like
or streaming and shit like that.
Like YouTube, yeah, like YouTube videos and stuff like that. That's like today's version of TV because a lot of people don't even watch TV like that, and I don't either. So let's say like, so you out of music and like video, so like TV, even YouTube, internet videos, social media videos, all like that. So that versus music, which one are you gonna pick?
That's kind of hard.
Yeah, I had to change it to make it a little less easy.
Even now, like, thinking about it, TV, because like even when we used to watch TV, like some of the best parts of the TV be the music or the show or whatever we watching. Like sometimes the best part of the be like the remember the theme songs, nigga? Like that used to be the best part. We couldn't wait for the Fresh Prince theme song, like.
Right, you gotta rap it. Even if you ain't doing it out loud, you saying it in your head. You know you are.
Yeah. Or the Family Matters theme song or Good Time, like that's kind of hard. You can't. It's hard to take away one or the other.
And then so like in this scenario, like if you took away music, you and kept video and all that, you would be able to watch the show, but it would have no music in it. All the music would be silent. It would just be silent, like theme song, like they just dancing and it's silent, like in the beginning. And then audio.
gotta announce their theme song. It's a
Right,
rare
subtitles.
condition in this day and age.
Yeah. To read any good news in the newspaper page. They got subtitles. They got to have subtitles for the theme song, and then audio. You know, you only hear it. You can't see it, so your screen is just black. Like,
That's crazy.
so I would pick. It would be hard to do without either one, honestly. Like, because video without audio, like video without music. I mean, I guess it would just like music wouldn't exist. And then if only music existed, there would be no music video. There would be you know, it would just only be music. But no matter what kind of entertainment your version of your account will only be enabled for music and audio.
You never take away from some of the most dramatic moments in like some of the best like movies or games or anything. Like, for example, like Mortal Kombat when that music started playing before Liu Kang started kicking ass.
Yeah.
Like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
like,
everything would be there would be no
the whole fight. Like, what the fuck is this?
there would be no like soundtracks or like, you know, the score on movies. It would just be like the straight acting and dialogue. Just pure acting.
Oh.
Just pure acting. Like, so I probably would pick video, like the video and this, but music out it's too hard. It's a very hard one actually.
Yeah, it is.
But I think I probably would rather like see something. I would rather be like visually stimulated than only audio.
Like it give you more variety too, because then like you see like with music, like at times people become, you know, copycats.
Yeah.
The different people but the same song every time.
Yeah.
Visual.
All right. I'm probably do like maybe like two more. Would you rather lose all of your teeth or all of your hair?
All of my hair.
I would say that too. Like, unless you just like now a woman, this is a whole different question for a woman, because a woman, you know, being bald is not as like socially normal. And then, you know, some people's heads ain't really made to be bald. You know what I mean? Like, some people's heads ain't meant to like see, you know, pure sunlight.
That shit funny because I've seen a bunch of weird bald heads.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of whoppers, you know, them whopper candies, a bunch of brown whoppers, a bunch of peanuts.
Orlando,
you know, because you
got Brown Jones, whatever his name is, the crazy man, motherfucker, Orlando
from Lasso Raven.
Yeah, that motherfucker. His head, he should never go bald again. He got the exact hair you talking about.
Oh, I haven't seen him bald before. He be on some crazy stuff.
Oh, he irritating.
He
was bald in Japan. Remember the little knot head he had?
Oh yeah. I was just watching Red Japan too. I was just talking about that. That's a classic movie too.
It is.
Yeah, I would definitely go bald, but I think if we had a woman on here, it would be a different. Like, they probably would have to like really consider. I mean, they probably would still pick hair because, you know, who wants to have no teeth? But like hair is way more valuable to a woman, I feel like, than a guy. Like, guys, you know, most people, like, I feel like. What do you think? Do you think more people have like a fade than have like long hair, like dreads, like you?
You say that again?
Do you think more people in the world have fades, like have short haircuts for guys versus like guys with dreads?
Yeah. It was getting scary at first, but a lot of people with dreads and cut their hair now too, though. So.
Yeah, so it's way more common for a guy to have a short haircut, is what I'm saying. So like, I think that women is like, there's girls with short, you know, women with short haircuts, but it's way more common for women to have like a little bit more hair. So I think a woman would still probably pick to have no hair, but they probably would like have a harder time coming to that conclusion.
They'll probably lose all their teeth and get dentures.
All right, so this is the last one. I wish I would have put the TV versus audio one, or music one, but this is gonna be the last one. Would you rather be stranded in the jungle or be stranded in the desert?
Wow, that's fucked up. Probably the
It,
jungle. As
now,
scary
I'm
as it
thinking
is,
like
you got no chance of survival.
I'm like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know, the jungle, because like I'm assuming this is like a wild jungle. This is not like some kind of, you know,
Right.
colonized thing. So like there's probably wild animals, tigers, like monkeys and stuff. And then in the
Yeah, that's why I
desert,
say it's scary as it is. Mm-hmm.
yeah, the
Now go
jungle
ahead. I
is
was
like
just.
Jumanji.
Mm-hmm.
Jungle, you be in
So
there like Jumanji facing everything. Go ahead.
yeah, so I would say to explain why I was saying that if you stranded in a desert, it's no resources at all. Like you ain't got to run from tigers and lions and snakes and stuff, but you gonna be walking days or for a while till you find any little drip of water.
Yeah,
You
that's
gonna
like
hydrate, pass out. You got less of a chance of making it out of that situation.
yeah, it's like you got less threats. Like you have a lower number of threats, but like your threat is like one of the biggest ones, like this like dehydration and like starving. I mean, you probably definitely face starving in the jungle, but like you said, there's if there's wildlife living in the jungle, like if you just had to like you know what I'm saying, monkey up and hunt something,
Scary.
like turn it to Rambo.
See, the scary part about the jungle is, I mean, you do got, lakes and rivers and shit that you can go, unfortunately, drink from and shit. But you got animals and shit you can try to cook if you want to be that damn resourceful. But they also got like
Yeah,
the fruits and shit, like you said, like the monkeys and shit eat. But at the same time, you gotta be careful which fruits you eat because you might poison yourself and then something gonna come eat your ass. So it's like, oh.
yeah. So with the desert though, like you got to worry about starving. You got to worry about like shade, water. I'm assuming that stuff with like shade and heat probably might still be a factor in the jungle, but like shade and water, I'm assuming there will be water somewhere in there. Like, now it might not be clean, but you might be able to find a way to like, start a fire and boil it or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably, even though both of them, like if you just got stranded with nothing, no phone, no nothing, no weapons in the jungle or in the desert, I feel like there's low chances of you surviving it. But I think you got a little bit more variables. Yeah, a little bit more variables if you in the jungle. You got like, you could
Mm-hmm.
make a little tent out of some big leaves and stuff like that, and then make a little hut or whatever. Um, but if this is the desert, usually deserts don't have nothing. This is nothing. It's just like land and flat.
Mm-hmm. It's like you want to go and you want to go to the bottom of the ocean or you want to go to space. What? Nigga, I don't want to go to neither one.
Yeah, yeah. It's like pick your poison. Um, but I probably would say jungle, even though that would be way scarier. Like I would be like trying. I probably would be like just like afraid for my life the entire time, thinking that it's gonna be a tiger or like a big boa constrictor, like snake in there somewhere. I'm gonna step on it on accident, or like a Venus flytrap or something that's like poisonous, poison ivy. But and so I think I would be way more calm if I was in the desert. I would just be hot and miserable, but and probably starving. But in the desert, I feel like I would be like scared that something's gonna like a predator is actually gonna come in and like present itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's gonna do it for the third
Jungle
episode of the
predators too,
Stimulus
though.
Podcast. What'd you say?
I just say it's a few jungle predators too, though.
That's what I'm saying. I think the predators will be in the jungle. I don't think there will be many. You
I
probably have
mean, not
snakes in the
jungle.
desert.
I mean, desert. My bad. Desert predator.
Yeah. So I think you probably have like snakes in the desert, scorpions and stuff like that.
Couple
Um,
both. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I think there's probably like more predators in the wild jungle, I'm assuming. But so that's gonna wrap it up for the third episode of the Stimulus Podcast. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Appreciate your support. If you want to follow us anywhere on social media, we are listed as the Stimulus Podcast. If you want to donate, Cash App, I'm gonna put that on the screen for our video watchers and listeners. as well. Let me go find it. Here it is. That's not it. But if you want to donate, it is $ the Stimulus Podcast on Cash App. I'll put it up on the screen right there. That's how you can donate if you want to donate financially. Maybe podcasts aren't your thing and you don't, you can't sit down and listen to something that's 2 hours long. I understand. I'm a podcast fan myself. But if you want to donate and you can't listen, or if you want to donate and listen, you can donate by going to the Stimulus Podcast on Cash App. Comment, subscribe, everything on YouTube. I encourage everybody to watch the podcast. I know it's like kind of an audio format, but watch the podcast as well. It's always going to be way more engaging when you can see what we're doing on screen and facial expressions and all that. So watch us on YouTube. It's the Stimulus Podcast. Subscribe if you like it. Tell somebody about it if you like it. Rome, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
For sure, man.
And with that has been the third episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we are out.